Hey you, my name is TomSka Ridgewell, and this week I thought we'd try something a little different. There's a lot of speculation on YouTube when it comes to money. How much do people earn? Where does the cash come from? And do I still have to pay child support if she lied about being on birth control? Well, I figure it's time that you got the answer to most of those questions.
Dark squid!
Now, consider this a warning. In this series, I'm going to be talking very openly about money and using myself and my earnings as an example. YouTubers making money off of their YouTubing shouldn't come as much of a surprise these days, but it is still admittedly quite uncomfortable to talk about. This series is undoubtedly going to change the way that some of you view me and our relationship, but given that it is your support that helps keep me and others afloat, I feel like you have the right to know how it all works. Let's do this. There are three main ways to make money through YouTube: advertising revenue, brand sponsorships, and merchandising. Today we're going to focus just on ad revenue. There are currently 5 different types of advertisements that can be shown on and around YouTube videos. 1. Embedded ads. These feature directly on the video page and don't really get in the way at all. 2. Overlay ads. These pop up 10 seconds into the video directly on top. Also, if I'm watching a video with you and you don't close these, you're the worst. 3. Skippable ads. These are adverts which play either before or at some point during the video you've actually chosen to watch, and you can, and probably will, choose to skip these after 5 seconds. 4. Non-skippable ads. These also play before your chosen video, but you can't skip them. Fortunately though, they are limited to being a maximum of 30 seconds long. 5. Sponsored cards. Kind of like an overlay ad, these can appear at some point during a sponsored video with information relevant to the product being promoted. So here's how it works. First, an advertising company will say to YouTube, I want my advert to be seen 100 million times, and YouTube will say, alright, give us all your money. Next, a creator uploads a video to YouTube and says, hey YouTube, I want some of that money, please put those sweet ads on my video. They do this using a service called AdSense. YouTube then asks the creator, do you own absolutely everything in this video? We don't want our ads to be associated with anything stolen. The creator says, yep, I created everything in this video, and the stuff that I didn't create, I have the right to use. YouTube then puts ads on and around the video. The type of ads are usually chosen by the creator, but not what those ads are actually promoting. That's all decided algorithmically based on the channel's audience and what YouTube thinks is relevant to that individual video. Then, the more those ads are seen, clicked on, or watched, the more money the creator makes. What money exactly? Why, a percentage of the money the advertisers gave to YouTube, of course. What percentage exactly? Who knows? Not me. YouTube says it's a fairly even split, and we kind of have to take their word for it on that. Now that's a little bit about the different types of ads and how they work, but it still doesn't answer the question of how much money they actually generate. Well, that, my friends, varies massively from channel to channel, and even then it still fluctuates daily. A lot of this comes down to your CPM, which essentially means how much money you make each time 1,000 adverts are delivered to your audience. So say my CPM were £1, I would make roughly £1 each time I got 1,000 views, £100 when I got 100,000 views, or £1,000 when I got 1,000,000 views, and so on. You get where I'm going with this? However, it's still not exactly that straightforward because different types of adverts generate different amounts of money. Obviously, if your audience sits through a 30-second advert, that's going to be more valuable to advertisers than a little box on the side of the screen that's quite easy to ignore. How great that difference is though? We don't really know. This is all, of course, assuming that the audience can see the ads on the channel and haven't installed some sort of ad blocker, because if they've done that, the YouTubers don't get anything. I'll admit that as I am a larger YouTuber, both in subscribers and body mass, that it doesn't affect me too much, but for a smaller YouTuber, it can be the difference between keeping a channel going or having to give up entirely. Essentially, what I'm saying is, think of the children. So, why do CPMs vary and fluctuate? Well, I think a lot of that comes down to your audience and the type of content you make. For example, I've had my CPM drop as low as 30 pence before, and I think that's because advertisers know they can reach my predominantly teenage boy audience anywhere. However, if your content is reaching a much more niche audience, say older women, then you could be looking at a much higher CPM, say £30, because you've got that corner of the market completely covered. Also, advertisers spend different amounts of money at different times of the year. For example, at Christmas, there's loads of ad money flying around. Yum yum. But come January, oh no. Finally, at the end of the month, AdSense calculates everything together and pays you, assuming you've made more than the minimum amount necessary to be paid. If not, that money will carry over to the next month, and so on. Hurrah! Now, with all that in mind, my channel brings in around 10 million views per month. So, depending on my CPM and the time of year, that can range from a paycheck of £3,000 to, if I'm really lucky, £10,000. Now would be a good time to mention that that money all goes directly to my company and not to me. It would be nice though. Now the last thing I want to talk about in this video is MCNs, Multi-Channel Networks. MCNs are management-like companies that offer logistical support to YouTube channels, usually in exchange for complete control of their advertising revenue and a percentage of all other income streams. They can be a good thing, they can be a bad thing. It all just depends on the company and the contract you sign. They all promise to make you more money than you currently are, but they usually try to play this off if they're doing it because they're just such great people and they're so supportive, and if that sounds like it's too good to be true, that's because it absolutely is. Like all companies, they're in it for the money. So just before you rush into anything, make sure you know what you're getting into and, more importantly, how to get out of it. Lawyer up, baby. Lawyer up. Okay, I hope that answered a lot of questions you may have had. There are obviously more complexities to ad revenue and AdSense, such as things like YouTube Red, but as much as it pains me to admit this, I don't actually know everything. However, do check back the next time I do a YouTube money video because it's going to be all about brand sponsorships. If you have any questions about that, post them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. TomSka out.
Bernie Blaze was an average firefighter until a freak accident gave him superhuman abilities. Now he's Fireman.
Here we go. Are we going? I can't tell.
We are going on an exciting adventure. Oh.